Okay, this video is going to go over how you get answers for inverse trig right from your unit circle. In all cases, or most cases I should say, there are two answers on your unit circle. So to make sure that you just have one to make it a function for inverse sine, cosecant, and inverse tangent, you must pick something between negative 90 and positive 90, or if I write it in radian modes, negative pi over 2 to positive pi over 2. I'm very visual, so I like to say you need to pick something from here. For inverse cosine, secant, and cotangent, you need to pick something from the top half. So if I look here, I'm going to do one of each. I'm going to start with number 4, inverse sine negative root 3 over 2. So I'm going to look on my unit circle, and I'm only looking in these quadrants right here. I'm trying to find where the y value is negative root 3 over 2, which is right here. And that you might think is 300, but you're supposed to pick a number from negative 90 to positive 90. 300 is also written as negative 60. I'd like to do a cosecant one while I have that out. So I'm going to turn and look at number 33. Cosecant, if you remember, is the reciprocal of the y value. So I'm looking in the same quadrants. I'm looking where the y value, if you flip it, would be 2. So I'm just going to, that wouldn't be 2 if I flipped it. That wouldn't be 2. That one wouldn't be 2. This one would be. So my answer for that one is 30. Last one I want to do in this section would be a cotangent one. The one I would like to do is 31. 31 is inverse cotangent root 3. Cotangent, if you remember, is the x divided by the y. For cotangent, I'm going to actually pick, I apologize, I said that wrong. Cotangent, I'm going to pick something from the top. So if I want to find when the x divided by the y is root 3, well, 1 divided by 0 is not root 3. Root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2, that one would be, because root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2, if I multiply by the reciprocal, I'd have root 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. They would cross out. So where the cotangent would equal root 3 is 30 degrees. So I'll fill that in. The one I meant to do, I apologize, that was from this quadrant over here, was tangent, because this is where you pick from for inverse sine, cosecant, and tangent. I actually have that written at the bottom here as a reminder. If I want to do inverse tangent, let's do number 20 here. 1, I'm looking for where the y divided by the x, oh, pardon me. I actually picked number 20, which was negative 1. Where the y divided by the x is negative 1. 1 divided by 0 is not negative 1. Root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2 is not negative 1. I'm guessing it might be down here. Let's look right here. Negative root 2 over 2 divided by positive root 2 over 2 would be negative 1, making my answer negative 45 for that one. Let's do a couple more. I'm going to look at the top half for inverse cosecant and secant. Let's look at 16 down here. Inverse cosine 0, so I'm looking for where the x value is 0. That is right here at 90 degrees. On your test, I would also accept pi over 2 if you decided to do it in radian. Next one I'd like to do is secant. Let's do 45, which is inverse secant negative root 2, which means when I flip the x, I should get negative root 2. Well, all of these x's are positive, so I'm not even going to look at those. I'm going to go over here. If I flip negative 1, I get negative 1. If I flip this, I get negative 2 root 3 over 3. If I flip this, I get negative root 2. So my answer is 135. So I did one of each for inverse trig.